what I want to speak to you about is the way that we manifest within this reality and the way that it works, how you can use it to your advantage to create the most easeful existence, most easeful life possible. The thing to understand is that whether you are consciously or unconsciously manifesting the life that you live at the moment, you are manifesting it. So there's no such thing as turning on manifesting and turning off manifesting, or being good at it or being bad at it. What happens is that you are either aware that you are creating the life, or you are unaware that you are creating the life. Everything that you interact with is exactly what is meant to be there for you. And the way that this is generated is through our higher self frequency being expelled from our system, from this reference point, and then it echoes back to us with all the different interactions that we have, all the different things, all the different people, all the relationships. Everything that you are aware of is a reflection of your inner frequency being emanated from this reference point, which is you in your life. So if you don't like the way that things look, that doesn't matter. What matters is whether you're able to see that it is a reflection of you, that what you are interacting with is exactly what is meant for you in this moment. And only in the moment can we fully experience it. Many times what we get into is this idea of worry around, oh, this is how things should be, or this is how things might be, or this is how I want things to be. All of these are a distraction out of the present. They're a distraction from what is. And when we're able to come into present tense and being very mindful of where we are right now and accept that what is exactly how it is meant to be, then we're able to ask questions around, well, if things feel a little bit awkward or if things feel a little bit uncomfortable, why is that the case? What is this showing me? What do I have to learn about myself? What do I have to learn about the world? And if we're able to then look into that, what happens is that automatically we're already bringing through a higher consciousness experience into the moment. And by bringing through higher consciousness experience into this present moment, we're less attached to all the stuff. We're less attached particularly to the outcome of what happens, because we're more interested in the why. Why is this here? What is it presenting for me? How can I learn from this? I'm interested in what's going on. We very quickly become the observer in the moment, rather than the passenger getting dragged along by all these things that happen. There's a train of thought around manifesting that if we just focus on something, if you write down an affirmation, and if you just fake it till you make it, then eventually you'll get there. And you will get some outcomes. But are those outcomes truly aligned with what is meant for you, or are you going to generate other opportunities to learn more about yourself through those outcomes? Because if something is being presented for you to learn, whether it be through a relationship, whether it be through a job, whether it be through some interaction that you have in the world, or the way that your life looks at the moment, if you're able to fully embrace that, you can learn from it. If you resist that, it's like pushing it away, and you might push it away and get some relief from it for a little moment. But what will happen is that this frequency that's generating from yourself here in this life, that doesn't change. So it then goes out and it echoes back to you, and it gets presented in another form, because maybe you didn't learn that lesson in the first place. Maybe you didn't get the learning in the first place. And so then beautifully what you as universal energy does is it'll wrap it up in a whole different way and present it to you in a different way. And maybe tie a different colored ribbon on it so you pay attention to it and think it's something different. Maybe that time you'll learn from it. So from a day-to-day basis, how can you use this to create ease within your life? And the paradox exists that if you work hard on focusing on something to try and generate it, then it probably won't be the thing that will come about. If you move into your present tense of self, if you allow yourself to simply be, if that thing that you otherwise would have a focus on, if that is meant to be in your life, it is meant to be there, then the abundance of yourself as your higher self present in this moment will generate that for you. But it may not generate specifically that. You see, if you're focused on one singular thing and your focus becomes so lasered in on one thing, then you may miss out on all this abundance that's otherwise available for you. Now, what you may do is you may create things that look great, they look shiny, they look fun. But you may also be creating things that seem challenging. You may create situations within your life that create distress. And you can look at those and go, oh, wow, look, I got this all wrong. Look what I'm bringing into my life. This is all negative. Or you could look at it and go, all right, I'm in a place where I can learn from this. Rather than carrying this stuff around, this programming and this belief pattern, maybe I'm in a position now where I'm able to have a look at this and grow through it. Maybe I can understand it better. And maybe in understanding this situation better, I understand myself better. I understand people better. And I understand my family better. And I understand the world in general that we live through better. And so the gift of that is way more interesting than the discomfort that's being generated. And it depersonalizes it to an effect as well, in that if you focus on, say it's a relationship that feels abrasive, and in that relationship, it's just like, oh, I've got to get away from this person, they're negative, or I've got to figure out a way to problem solve this and make it work. Whatever that is that you're focusing on, you're focusing in so closely that you put blinkers on. And the blinkers blind you to the bigger picture. And you're able to see the wholeness of what's actually going on if you step back. And if you step into a broader, more expanded state of consciousness coming into this moment by asking the question, what is in this for me to learn? Why would I generate this for myself? How can I grow through moving through this experience? As we're meeting these things, the most aligned place to meet it is, how can I meet this with a state of unconditional love? How can I remain aligned with my true self in this moment that feels uncomfortable? How can I stay aligned in this moment that feels euphoric? How can we allow ourselves to hold the presence of wholeness while there is this energized focus on something that's happening within our life? And only you'll know this, but it will sit with you in a calm truth. There's an emotional energy that comes with some of these things that go through the euphoric highs and the destitute lows. And you'll feel these swings, and you'll feel the emotional and egoic state ride with that too. That if it feels vulnerable, it will create problems and look at, point fingers. Look at where everybody else might be wrong to protect this thing inside that feels vulnerable. And if it's all high and mighty, then it might look at others that are lesser than and think, oh, well, I'm grand and I'm great. Neither of those is, well, both of them are true, but neither of them is really true. They're isolated truths within the whole truth. Once we step back, we go, yeah, that's great, that is true, but it's not really true in the singular focus. It's in context, it just is what it is. It's nice, but it's providing me with an opportunity to learn something about myself and learn something about the world and grow. So when you're manifesting, it's not something you need to necessarily sit down and focus on. However, you may want to do that. It's more something from a day-to-day basis, being diligent around what your thoughts and feelings and where your focus is. What is it that's occupying space within your attention? And asking a question, well, what is it that draws my attention to that? Why is my energy being used in this way? And is it a productive way? Could my energy be used differently by going, okay, this seems to have been in my focus, my awareness, this thing that I want, or this life that I'm trying to create, or this person that I'm having an interaction with. There's something that will be there for you to focus on. And instead of getting down the line of the story of that thing, just step back and just ask the question, oh, I seem to be focusing on this. Why would I be focusing on this? What's in that? What's my belief in that? What's the patterning that's existing within this state? Am I brave enough to reveal that which is within me that has been programmed in a way that I've built a familiarity with it? May not even have been aware that it was there until this situation presented itself to me. And so I welcome this situation into my life so that I can reveal this patterning within me and hopefully grow and expand from it. And that being our ultimate outcome, consistently looking at expansion of our consciousness in form. If we're able to do that, we realize that we are everything experiencing itself from a singular reference point being the life, the personality, the person in the life. We're not necessarily it, it's just where we're experiencing it from. We realize there's a massive abundance there. By experiencing that abundance, we get to expand. It should be an easeful process. It's not always comfortable, but it should be easeful. When it becomes uncomfortable, when it becomes resistant, when it becomes a lot of work or effort, they're giving you keys to look at this stuff. So be brave enough to stop, to reflect, and to step into presentness without running away into the what ifs in the future or what should have been in the past. Just what is, what's here right now, what's true right now. And then hopefully from there, you build a relationship with this within yourself on how you create. And so then you start looking at the world differently. Rather than looking at things that are happening to you, you realize that these things are presented to you to experience. And that you, on a deeper level, is generating this. And so what it's doing is it's giving you this glimpse into what that higher consciousness is in form. And it becomes really interesting. So if I have a broader, higher consciousness that's generating this manifesting experience, I could be focused on the things that are out there that are being generated in front of me to interact with. Or I could also be interested in, hey, where is this being generated from? Where do I feel this is coming from? And what is that? And what does that feel like in its clearest, most pure form? I hope this is useful for you.